Europe in the early years of the 20th century. A silent revolution was sweeping across the continent. The world was turning away from the heavy, straight lines of the past, moving instead toward the fluid, untamed beauty of Art Nouveau. It was a time of deep anxiety for those who mastered the old ways. Much like today, as we stand at the edge of rapid technological shifts, the fear of being left behind was universal. Here, two brothers found themselves at a crossroads, one holding tight to the mastery of the past, the other reaching for the language of the future. To save their family's legacy, they didn't need to abandon their craft, they needed to let it grow. They had to prove that tradition isn't a cage, but a foundation for something new. By the edge of a quiet Bruges canal, time seemed to move with a different rhythm. While the rest of the world rushed forward, this city remained a sanctuary for artisans. Among them lived Hendrik van Loer, a man who believed that patience was the greatest tool a master could own. Hendrik raised two sons, Lucas, the elder, and Elias, the younger. Day after day, he showed them how to hold glass to the sunlight, to find its hidden flaws. But more than a technique, he taught them a life lesson. That glass only reveals its true beauty to those who are brave enough to wait. When the time came for the brothers to find their own way, Hendrik gave them more than just a share of his earnings. He gave them the freedom to choose their own vision. He didn't tell them what to build. He trusted them to listen to their own hearts. Lucas, the elder, chose the path he had walked since childhood. He stayed in Bruges to master the classic Gothic style, a world of grand arches, straight lines, and perfect symmetry. To him, this was the only way to honor their father. Elias, however, looked beyond the horizon. He left the quiet canals behind to study a rising movement that was shaking the world, Art Nouveau. It was a style inspired by the untamed, organic curves of nature, a language that didn't follow rules, but followed life. Years passed like the flowing water of the canal. Lucas became a celebrated master of tradition. In his workshop, beauty was defined by order, discipline, and strength. He believed that if a line wasn't straight, it wasn't perfect. When Elias returned for a brief visit, his bags were filled with sketches that looked more like a garden than a building. Lucas looked at his brother's work and laughed, his voice echoing against the cold glass walls.
Brother, why spend years of study just to learn how to draw weeds and vines? Our father's glass is famous because it is straight and true.
Elias did not argue. He simply smiled, seeing a world of movement and change that his brother refused to acknowledge. He realized that while they both loved the same craft, they were now looking through very different windows. The world never promised to stand still. While Lucas worked in silence, the rhythm of the streets outside was changing. New factories were breathing smoke into the sky, churning out glass in minutes. Work that took Lucas days of sweat and prayer. But it wasn't just about speed. The world's heart had moved on. People no longer wanted the heavy pillars of the past. They wanted the curve of the wind, the movement of life.
But this is my father's technique. This glass has a soul. Look at the precision, the depth of this cobalt blue. Soul cannot fill a modern gallery, Lucas. We want movement. We want life. This is too rigid. It feels like yesterday.
In the quiet of the room, Lucas stands before his finest work. He realizes then that time has moved on without him. Elias returned to find his brother sitting in the shadows of a dying workshop. He didn't come with judgment, and he didn't come to say, "I told you so." He came as a brother.
You are fighting the ghosts of the past, brother. Our father's strength wasn't in the straight lines, it was in the fire.
Let us take what we know and challenge what is coming. Your skill is the foundation, the bone of everything we build. My designs will be the breath that makes it live again. We don't have to choose between the past and the future. We can build them together.
And so, experience met new learning. The discipline of the old world embraced the freedom of the new. It was not easy. Lucas's hands were trained for the straight path, and his heart was used to being right. But as he learned to bend the glass without breaking it, he realized he was also bending his own pride. They argued. They failed. But they learned to listen, not only to the world, but to each other. They discovered that some things do not need to break to be transformed. The workshop breathed again. Lucas watched as the world admired their craft. A masterpiece where sturdy tradition held breathtaking, swirling vines of light. He finally understood. Elias's knowledge didn't replace their father's legacy. It saved it. Hendrik van Loer watched his sons and felt no need to interrupt. He had given them the same beginning, trusting them to find their own endings. He knew that tradition and change are not rivals. They are partners, waiting for the right moment to meet. Because as long as we carry the same fire, we will never lose our way. Do not fear the loss of symmetry. Like Art Nouveau, the greatest beauty is born the moment we decide to bend with change and find that we do not break,